Okay, so Ben Hunt has been signed by the Brisbane Broncos on a 2-year deal. The deal is rumoured to be around 500,000 a season, which is within the Broncos' salary cap. If it was anything more than that, they would have to let Cobbo or Staggs go. That was what was reported. They would have to lose one of their outside backs. This does bring some stability and experience to the halves and the hooking role because he's a very versatile player. He can play 6, 7 or 9. And of course, the Broncos are without Ezra Mann for the foreseeable future. We don't know when he's going to return. He is going to be looking at a lengthy suspension to start next season, regardless of the court appearance and the outcome of that court appearance on the 16th of December. And so this does shore up the spine because Adam Reynolds is starting to become injury prone. Now, Ben Hunt has had some injuries in his career, but not on the same level as Adam Reynolds. He hasn't missed the same amount of time, and they're both at similar ages and similar stages in their career. So this is basically bringing in experience to guide some of these young players around. This is, I think, where the Broncos have gone wrong, is they only have the one experienced half rather than two experienced halves. And while Ezra Mam is no doubt a very talented player in attack defensively, he does get exposed. And when things go awry and the structure gets a bit disrupted, there's either a good kick pressure or a fast defensive line, or they're losing the arm wrestle, the territory battle, they get flustered. And I think adding Ben Hunt will add that experience and guidance to some of these young players. Michael Maguire also, as the new head coach, he is a coach that expects good culture, good work ethic and good fitness. And Ben Hunt has always proven to have a good work ethic, brilliant fitness. He has had some injuries, but he hasn't had, as I say, on the same level as Adam Reynolds. So this does give them options in the halves as well. He's still an origin player, he's still a test player. Whereas Adam Reynolds, I think, any potential origin selection or test selection, I think those days are past Adam Reynolds. He just doesn't keep fit enough. So I think this is a good result for the Broncos, but at the same time, other clubs may be raising eyebrows because he's gone for, well, below market value, basically. He was valued at around 750 to up to 900,000. That's what some clubs were offering him. The Bulldogs and the Dolphins were the most likely to chase his signature. But as soon as he was released from the Dragons, he did hint that his preferred choice of club would have to be a Queensland-based club. The Dolphins really pushed hard to get his signature. The Bulldogs did as well, to be fair, but the Bulldogs are not short of options in the halves and the hooking role. The Dolphins, I think, could use an upgrade in the halves and the hooking role, potentially. But the Broncos, I think, is the logical choice for where he'll end up. Now, we obviously, as I say, don't know the outcome of what's going to happen with Ezra Mann, but even if he's, given a conditional discharge, for example, and a driving ban, he's still going to be missing a lengthy chunk of next season. And at the moment, he's doing unpaid labouring work, so he's not even in training. So, whereas Ben Hunt has obviously just come off the back of being with the Australian squad and playing the Pacific Championship. He's still pretty match fit, and of course he's just going to go straight into pre-season training, and then after have a Christmas break and then get on with it. And I think he'll slot very seamlessly into the system. He obviously knows the club from his previous stint there, where he made his name and burst on the scene, played a grand final with them, and I think this is a good piece of contract negotiation by the Broncos. I think they've got a steal. I think part of the deal was that Ben Hunt would have a post-playing role with the Broncos, either in a coaching capacity or ambassadorial capacity as well, which I don't think the other clubs were going to offer. So this looks very likely to be his final NRL contract. I don't see him extending to a third year. Potentially he might, but looking at the where he is in his career, how he's at the latter end now. He's the same age as me. I think he's 34, 35. He's at the latter end of his career now, but he's still an origin player and still a test player. So he brings that valued experience to the team as well. And it's, I think, experience and stability I think they need. Because when the Dragons won and won well, Ben Hunt was a key part of them winning well. When things started to go wrong, there were questions about his defensive intensity and some of his decision making. But given the right environment with the right coach and the right morale, because at the Dragons that had clearly broken down at the end of last season, not this season, last season he wanted a release. They wouldn't grant him that when Shane Flanagan was appointed. As the season drew on, the relationship, for whatever reason, even though he stayed professional on the field, started to break down, and towards the end of the season it was very, very clear and obvious he wanted out. And he's been granted his wish. The Dragons weren't willing to keep a player who didn't want to be there. So he wants to be at the Broncos. Michael Maguire, I think, has got a very, very good signing that's going to help this team where they were lacking some experience and some leadership. And again, Adam Reynolds is too injury prone. So I can see Ben Hunt playing a lot of games this season with the Broncos. And it could help turn around their fortunes from, their disastrous end to the season. And they can bounce back into the top 8. But there we go. Place your thoughts in the comments section below. And I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon.